Treat others the way you want to be treated. That's the golden rule that I was raised on, and many of us were raised on as well. But that's something that was never transitioned to discipline, as many of us were beat and physically abused as a way of learning. Like, oh, you'll learn, but do you really learn, or do you get scared of your parents? My main points being covered today are that studies over and over again have proven that physically hitting a child has both short and long-term risks in the development process of the child. Black children are typically singled out with dealing with corporal punishment in schools and classrooms, and then child abuse only steers the child down the road of violence, aggression, which gets passed down by generations. First, I'm going to focus on the effects of child abuse long-term and short-term. My first point would be the risk long and short-term development of children. Kids become more aggressive and antisocial, meaning most of the kids that we've grown up with, some of them have aggression or feel aggression towards other people because that's all they know, that's how they've received their whole lives. So that's all they know, so that's the way of learning, that's the way they do the things. According to Forbes, kids have more mental health problems from childhood into adulthood and misbehave more and are more likely to end up abused. Meaning the more you hit your kid, you hit your children, the more you got hit, the more likely you have to have mental health problems and have misbehaved behaviors and things of that nature. My second point would be discrimination is always going to be the topic of discussion, mostly when spanking is embedded in the school system. Black children are typically singled out, but not only every day out in the real world, but also in the classroom, as when spanking happens in classrooms, in schools, black children are usually singled out because black children are twice as likely to get punished than white children. According to Washington Post, in Mississippi, for instance, white kids are physically disciplined at a rate of 4.7 times or beatings per every 100 students. Among black students, the rate is 8.1 per every 100 students. So you're roughly talking about 4 times the amount a black person would get hit than a white kid. Lastly, a generational curse is not something we want to continue, but rather positively enforce to have the outcome of our next generation be different. My last and final point steers that spanking children steers them down a road of aggression and violence. Some children may put their aggression towards their dating life as well as their future children. So the more likely you are, if you get hit, the more likely you hit your children. Why would you want someone to feel the pain that you did when you were growing up as a child? According to CNN, many experts say that spanking is linked with an increase of negative outcomes for children, such as aggression, mental health problems, and even dating violence. Many people experience their mothers getting hit by their fathers. Many people experience a lot of violence and getting beat day to day and day out. And that just makes it more likely for you to become that drunk that beats your wife or beats on your children just because that's a way of escaping, but shouldn't be right and should be dealt with the right way of there's a greater purpose to learning how to discipline a child rather than hitting them and making them scared of you, rather than teaching them the right ways and not getting frustrated. In conclusion, as we try to change the world one kid at a time, as you raise your child, please remember, treat others the way you want to be treated, and be the person you needed while growing up. Thank you.